Hello students, today we will learn about capacitors. We will learn about capacitors. So what is capacitor? So capacitor is a second passive electronic component, which stores electrical energy. It charges. When it charges, it stores electrical energy, and when it discharges, then it releases or delivers the stored electrical energy. So this is the function of capacitor. Mainly, there are two types of capacitors: fixed capacitor and variable capacitor. Okay. Now, in fixed type capacitors, again there are two types: polar capacitor and non-polar capacitors. Okay. So electrolytic capacitors whose capacitance is very large, that is 100 microfarad or 1000 microfarad, such type of electrolytic capacitors are polar capacitors. And in non-polar, ceramic, mica, or paper capacitors, these are non-polar capacitors. Okay. And there is a variable capacitor which is used for tuning the frequency, certain frequency in oscillator circuits, such type of, or in RF amplifier circuits, in a radio receiver. Okay. In a radio receivers, or for tuning a particular station, gang type capacitor, it is a variable capacitor, it is used. Or in FM kit, uh, a particular radio station, it is a tuned by using a trimmer capacitor. It is a variable capacitor. Trimmer capacitor is a variable capacitor, and its values lies between 30 picofarad to 100 picofarad. So these are the variable capacitors. Okay. So the capacitor, the main function of capacitor, it is used in DC power supplies for filter, in filter action, or in filter section. Electrolytic capacitors are used to suppress AC component from DC, and also for in amplifiers for coupling signals, or to couple two stages, or two or more than two stages. So coupling two stages or three stages, capacitors are used. That is for connecting a number of or multi stages of amplifiers. Coupling capacitors are used. So the capacitor uh, connects AC signal from one stage to another stage. Okay. Then in DC power supplies, electrolytic capacitors are used for filter. Okay. Again, for bypass, it is used for bypass signal. Electrolytic capacitors are used. Um, the main function is it bypass AC and it opposes DC. This is the function of capacitor. Okay. Now, it is a capacitor is nothing but it is a second important passive component, and it is observed in many electronic circuits, and also in electrical circuits. Capacitors are used. So many times these capacitors are called as condensers. These capacitors are called as condensers. Basically, it is used to store electrical energy. Okay. It stores electrical energy by charging, and it releases that electrical energy by discharging. So this component has a specific capacity of storing electrical charge, for storing electrical charge across it, and hence it is called as capacitor. Okay. So there are two types of capacitors: fixed capacitors and variable capacitors. uh, the capacitance of capacitor is measured in farad. Farad is the largest unit. Then microfarad, picofarad, or nanofarad. These are the units of capacitance. Okay. Capacitance can be measured in microfarads, or picofarads, or nanofarads. Then basically capacitor consists of two parallel conducting surfaces or two parallel plates which are insulated by some dielectric material or insulating material. Okay, two conducting plates or conducting surfaces which are separated by some dielectric material or insulating material. This is the basic construction of capacitor. Okay, so these are the symbol of capacitors. These are fixed capacitors. If this is a non-polar capacitor, these are two electrolytic or polar capacitors, and this is a variable type capacitor. Okay, a capacitor is formed by two parallel conducting plates, and these parallel conducting plates may be spherical also. Okay, and these conducting plates are insulated or separated by some insulating material. For example, if mica is used as insulating material, then that capacitor is called as mica capacitor. If ceramic is used, then it is called as ceramic capacitor. Okay, capacitor plays an important role in electronic circuits. It is used in power supplies as a filter, and for amplifiers, capacitors are used for coupling and as a bypass capacitor. Now let us see the charging and discharging action of capacitor. Here one capacitor is connected across a DC source with a voltage V or potential difference V, and one current meter is connected in series with this capacitor. So when a battery is connected across the capacitor, then initially the capacitor offers very low resistance. It offers very low resistance. Therefore, current flows through this circuit. That means multimeter or any ammeter, it shows full deflection. That means it shows because initially the capacitor has very low resistance. Therefore, we get full deflection. So when capacitor is connected across the multimeter with the ohm range, then the pointer shows full deflection. Analog multimeter is used here. So here pointer shows full deflection with a low resistance. So initially this capacitor offers very low resistance. Then after that this pointer moves in backward direction, and then finally the capacitor offers very high resistance. So here this is high resistance, so capacitor then shows high resistance. So for initially we get forward deflection, and then after that it slowly discharges, and therefore during discharging its resistance becomes high, and finally it shows infinity resistance. So first initially it shows forward deflection, and then reverse deflection. Okay, then we say that the capacitor is in good condition. So this is the method of testing capacitor. Okay, then as shown in this figure, when battery is connected across the capacitor, current flows through the circuit, and current meter is connected for indication. So before connecting the battery, the number of electrons on plate A and number of electrons on plate B are equal. Okay, before connecting this battery, the number of electrons on plate A and also number of electrons on plate B are equal. But when battery is connected across it, then electrons are accumulated. Means accumulate means गोला होने, or collected. Electrons are collected on plate A because they cannot flow through dielectric. Dielectric is an insulating material. So these electrons cannot pass through dielectric, because this dielectric is nothing but it is an insulating material. So these electrons are collected on, or these electrons are deposited, or these electrons are accumulated on plate A, and these electrons cannot pass through dielectric. Therefore, an electrostatic force is developed by this plate A. Electrostatic force is developed, and that gives pressure to the plate B, and then it passes the same number of electrons towards the battery. Okay, so this is known as electrostatic induction. This is called as electrostatic induction. Thus we get negative charge on plate A. We get negative charge on plate A and positive charge on plate B. Thus a potential difference is developed across the capacitor, and then we say that the capacitor is charged, fully charged. We say that the capacitor is fully charged because charge is developed, positive uh, charge is developed across the capacitor. The electrons are accumulated on plate A, and thus there is a potential difference. There is a potential difference across the capacitor, and then uh, the capacitor voltage then increases exponentially here. So during this charging period of this capacitor, during the charging period of the capacitor, voltage across this capacitor increases exponentially towards the applied voltage V. Okay, and finally the voltage across the capacitor reaches to the supplied voltage or applied voltage V. So finally it reaches to the battery voltage V. So when it reaches the battery voltage, that is when the voltage across the capacitor is equal to the applied voltage V, is equal to the applied voltage V, then no current flows through the capacitor. Then current stops. Then current stops, and we get this reverse deflection. Then capacitor will offer high resistance. Okay, high resistance. So when the capacitor voltage is full, when the capacitor voltage is full, then at this time current is zero. When the capacitor voltage is full, current is zero, and now observe the graph. When the voltage across the capacitor V, current is 0, the process of charging is then stopped. And remember, initially the current is maximum. Initially this current is maximum. Initially current is maximum. Initially the current is maximum. But when capacitor fully charges, when the capacitor fully charges, then at that time the current becomes negligible or zero. Current becomes zero. This is a current. So here current is zero. Okay, current is 0. Initially current is maximum, and when the capacitor gets fully charged, then current decreases. This current decreases, and finally it becomes 0. Okay, now the voltage across the capacitor is V. Voltage across the capacitor is V. It can be discharged. This capacitor can be discharged by connecting one resistance across or bulb across this capacitor. So this is a charged capacitor, where the capacitor which is fully charged, and we are here one bulb is connected across this capacitor. So slowly this capacitor discharges through this bulb. The capacitor discharges through this bulb. So as capacitor discharges, then voltage across it decreases. Voltage across this capacitor decreases, and finally it becomes 0. Initially the voltage across capacitor is full, that is it is equal to the applied voltage V, and when load is connected or bulb is connected across this capacitor, charged capacitor, then current flows through this bulb, and slowly the voltage across the capacitor goes on decreasing, and finally it becomes 0. Okay. So this is the discharging and discharging of capacitor. So these are two diagrams. These are the testing of capacitor. So when capacitor is connected across multimeter with the ohm range, here analog multimeter is used. So initially the capacitor offers very low resistance. Therefore, we get full deflection. That means this pointer shows low resistance. This is the low range. So initially, this multimeter shows low resistance. So we get full deflection, and then uh, again this multimeter shows a reverse deflection, and then this pointer shows high resistance. Okay, so initially we get clockwise direction and then anti-clockwise. This pointer moves in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, initially it moves in clockwise direction. This pointer moves in clockwise direction and then in anti-clockwise direction. So when this pointer stops, we get maximum resistance or high resistance. So this is the method of testing capacitor. Okay, capacitor testing. Now, what is meant by RC time constant? What is meant by RC time constant? This is an important term which is related with timer circuits. RC time constant. So it is defined as the, what is meant by RC time constant? So RC time constant is defined as it is the time required for the capacitor to charge up to 63.28% of its applied voltage. This is the definition of RC time constant. The time required for the capacitor to charge up to 63.28% of its maximum or of its applied voltage. It is called as RC time constant, or here the capacitor, it is the time required for the capacitor to discharge up to 36.72% of its initial voltage. 36.72% of its initial voltage. It is also called as RC time constant. Okay, time required for the capacitor to charge up to 63.28% of its applied voltage, or the time required for the capacitor to discharge up to 36.72% of its initial voltage. It is called as RC time constant. So RC time constant T is equal to R into C. T is equal to R into C. Okay, so this is the definition of RC time constant. This is the definition of RC time constant. Now let us study two examples. See here. See here. If a capacitor of 5 microfarad, if a capacitor of 5 microfarad, if a capacitor of 5 microfarad is charged through a resistance 2 mega ohm. So here C is equal to 5 microfarad and R is equal to 2 mega ohm. 2 mega ohm. If a capacitor of 5 microfarad is charged through a resistance of 2 mega ohm with a battery voltage 10 volt, with a battery 10 volt, that is V is equal to 10 volt, then calculate time constant. Calculate time constant. So we know that time constant T is equal to R into C. T is equal to R into C. Here R is equal to 2 mega ohms. So first of all, we have to convert this mega ohm into ohms. That is T is equal to 2 into 10 raised to 6 ohms. Okay, 2 into 10 raised to 6 into what is C? C is 5 microfarad. So convert this microfarad into farad. So 5 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad. 5 microfarad means 5 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad. So first of all, we have to convert microfarad into farad and mega ohm into ohms. Okay. Then we get here 10. 10 into 10 raised to 0. 10 raised to 0 means 1. So we get 10 second. T is equal to 10 second. T is equal to 10 second. Okay. Now see capacitors in series. Capacitors in series. So when capacitors are connected in series like this. So suppose this is capacitor C1, this is capacitor C2. Okay, so these two capacitors are connected in series. So when capacitors are connected in series, then its equivalent capacitance. Its equivalent capacitance is given by C is equal to 1 upon C is equal to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2 plus 1 upon C3 like this. Okay. So when two or more than two capacitors are connected in series, then this is the formula. 1 upon C is equal to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2 plus 1 upon C3. So when capacitors are connected in series. Now when capacitors are connected in parallel, when capacitors are connected in parallel, then its equivalent capacitance is given by C is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3 plus dash dash dash. Here two capacitors are connected. Suppose C1 and C2 are connected in parallel, then its equivalent capacitance will be C is equal to C1 plus C2. Here these two capacitors are connected in series, so its equivalent capacitance C is equal to C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2, or 1 upon C is equal to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2. Here two capacitors are connected here only two capacitors are connected in series. Then 1 upon C is equal to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2, or C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2. So this is the formula when two capacitors are connected in series. रेजिस्टन्सच्या नेमकं उलट आहे इथे. जेव्हा रेजिस्टन्स सिरीजमध्ये असतात तेव्हा आर टी इज इक्वल टू R1 प्लस R2. आता इथं कॅपॅसिटर सिरीजमध्ये आहेत, तर या ठिकाणी कोणता फॉर्म्युला वापरायचा? C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2 when capacitors are connected in series. Okay, when two capacitors C1 and C2 are connected in series, then its equivalent capacitor C is equal to C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2. Okay, and when two capacitors C1 and C2 are connected in parallel, then its equivalent capacitance C is equal to C1 plus C2. C1 plus C2. Okay. Now see one example. Suppose let two capacitors 20 microfarad and 5 microfarad are connected in series. Here suppose this is a 20 microfarad capacitor and this is a 5 microfarad capacitor. These two capacitors are connected in series, then connected in parallel. Then the effective capacitance in each case are. So when these two capacitors 20 microfarad and 5 microfarad, when these two capacitors are connected in series, what is the effective capacitance? And when these two capacitors 20 microfarad and 5 microfarad are connected in parallel, then what is its effective capacitance? Okay, now first of all we will see when capacitors are connected in series. Then so when two capacitors C1 and C2 are connected in series, then its equivalent capacitance C is given by C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2. Okay, so here suppose C1 is equal to 20 microfarad and C2 is equal to 5 microfarad. So here that is C1 20 microfarad means 20 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad. 20 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad. So मायक्रोफॅराडचं फॅराडमध्ये कन्वर्ट करावं लागेल. Into C2, what is C2? 5 microfarad. So 5 into 10 raised to minus 6 divided by C1 plus C2, that is 20 plus 5 means 25 microfarad, means 25 into 10 raised to minus 6. So 10 raised to minus 6 will cancel here. Okay. Then 25. So we get 4 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad. 4 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad, that is 4 microfarad. 4 microfarad. So this is the answer, 4 microfarad. Okay. So when capacitors are connected in series, 20 microfarad and 5 microfarad, when these two capacitors are connected in series, then we get its equivalent capacitance 4 microfarad. 4 microfarad. Now let us see when these two capacitors are connected in parallel. When these two capacitors are connected in parallel, see here, suppose this is C1 or 20 microfarad capacitor and this is C2 5 microfarad. Now see here, when these two capacitors are connected in parallel, then its equivalent capacitor or total capacitance C is equal to C1 plus C2. So C1 means 20 microfarad plus 5 microfarad. So here we get 25 microfarad. So its equivalent capacitance is 25 microfarad. 25 microfarad. Okay. Now see another example. See here, a capacitor of 0.2 microfarad. A capacitor of 0.2 microfarad is connected in series with a resistance of 15 mega ohm. A capacitor of 0.2 microfarad, that is C is equal to 0.2 microfarad. Capacitor of 0.2 microfarad is connected in series with a resistance of 15 mega ohm. So here R is equal to 15 mega ohm. R is equal to 15 mega ohm. Then find the time constant. So here T is equal to R into C. Here R is equal to 15 mega ohm. So 15 mega ohm is 15 into 10 raised to 6 ohm. 15 mega ohm means 15 into 10 raised to 6 ohm. So for calculation, we have to convert mega ohm into ohm. So here 15 mega ohm means 15 into 10 raised to 6 ohm into C 0.2 microfarad means 0.2 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad. Microfarad चं farad मध्ये convert करा. So 0.2 into 10 raised to minus 6. So here we get 15 दूनी 30, 3.0 into 10 raised to 0. So 10 raised to 0 means 1. So here we get 3 into 1 means 3 seconds. So we get time constant 3 seconds. We get time constant 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Now here the time constant is 3 seconds, and we have to again calculate the time required to charge up to the battery voltage if battery voltage is 10 volt. Here battery voltage is given, V is equal to 10 volt. So what is the time required to charge, to full charge? What will be the time? So this is a time constant, this is not time. So when there are 5 time constant, then capacitor gets fully charged. Capacitor gets fully charged. So here this is the time constant. We know that what is time constant? It is the time required for the capacitor to charge up to 63.28% of its maximum voltage. So here maximum voltage is 10 volt. So 3 seconds is the time constant. That is Vc is equal to so here V is equal to 10 volt and time constant is 3 seconds. So for fully charged, we have to take 5 time constants. So 3 into 5, that is 15 seconds. So 15 seconds is, in 15 seconds up to capacitor will get full charge. Capacitor will be fully charged after 15 seconds. So we have to take 5 time constants. So 3 into 5, that is 15 seconds. So in 15 seconds the capacitor will fully charge. Okay. So we will stop here.